It is day 3 of my curriculum week, and this is appropriate. Day 3 for my 3rd grader. So if you are new, hi, my name is Brittany. I am a homeschool mom to 4 kids. I have a 10th grader, a 3rd grader, 1st grader, and a pre-K/K4 kind of grade. So that's kind of where we're at. I have already done at this point, I should have already posted my video for our group subjects and for my 1st grader. So this is specifically just what my 3rd grader is doing. It's going to be just his individual subjects, which it's not a lot for individual subjects because we do a lot of stuff family style. So if you're wanting to see what all we are doing as a family for like Bible, for history, for science, or memory work, things like that, I will leave that link down below. Go check that out. But this is specifically for my 3rd grader. If that is of interest to you, then let's get into it. So my 3rd grader is very much a 3rd grade boy. He would much rather be out playing and climbing a tree and doing all of that stuff than sitting in here and doing all of the extra fun stuff. Like my 1st grader, she wants all of the art, she wants all of the drawing, all of the games, everything in her curriculum that makes her happy. I have tried that methodology with my 3rd grader and he was miserable. He wants to bare bones it and just get done with school so that he can go play. He wants school to be school, play to be play. That's it. Not uncommon for me. My 10th grader was the same way at this age. So I don't know, maybe it's a boy thing. I don't know. Or at least my kids, my boys anyway. So we are very simplistic with his curriculum. So for math, this is no surprise if you have been around here for a minute because we love CLE. CLE math is my favorite math curriculum. Even my kiddos who love the fun, pretty, girly stuff, I put them in CLE math just because it is so good. And with my 10th grader, I had such a hard time finding a math curriculum that was this good. And by the time I found CLE, CLE is one of those curriculums that it's really hard to jump into when you're in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. You really got to get it from the beginning. And so I am not sure I would switch anybody out of it unless it was dire, because going back to it is very hard because it is just very solid. And so he is doing 3rd grade math. He is actually, we are already 4 weeks in. That's why we're in 304. If you can see that, 304. If you have any experience with CLE or if you have no experience with CLE, it comes in light units, 10 light units specifically, because it's just easier. I don't know why they just decide to do it. I think because it's meant for a classroom, and so that's how they do it. We love the light units. They get a little excited every single time they finish a light unit. It's like this big accomplishment, and they like to get to go and throw it in the drawer and they don't have to look at it again. And so he is doing very well. He finished 2nd grade math in April, and he tested out of the 1st light unit. And so we went ahead and just put him in 302, and then we took a small summer break. And so now he is currently in 304. And so he is like 4 lessons into this. And so he's already getting close to being halfway through 3rd grade math. He's really proud of himself that he's already this far into 3rd grade math. And so, yeah. The only thing I don't do with the CLE math is we do not do I talked about it with my 1st grader, we don't do the speed drills, we don't do the flashcards anymore. It just felt like a lot, and so in favor of our sanity, we have switched over to doing extra math on the computer, which is 5 to 10 minutes of math, like math drills, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and they test them. As they start to master certain addition problems and subtraction problems and yada yada, they will test out of it, and so they will start to move on into higher grades until they have fully tested out of the program altogether. It's just an easier way to do math facts, in my opinion. He doesn't love it. He still doesn't like doing extra math. He doesn't like doing math flashcards. He doesn't like doing speed drills, but it is the form that he dislikes the least. Let me put it that way. For language arts, he is also doing CLE language arts. This is, once again, it's not his favorite. But in all reality, language arts is not his favorite. Math, he has no problem with. Language arts is just not his favorite. He was my struggling reader. He's had issues with his eyes when he was younger, trying to get them to come together. We spent the beginning part of last year really focusing on phonics. He was still struggling with reading, and so we really drove home the phonics and reading at the first part of last year. He is reading fantastically now, so we have moved on, and he is on pace with language arts. We're a month into school, he's a month into the program, and so I'm really pleased with where he's at. It is something that he just kind of sucks up and does it, even though he doesn't really want to, but there's nothing else that he's really enjoyed, and we've tried a couple of different things, and so we're gonna probably just stick with it, even though he doesn't love it. But I don't make him do all of the extra stuff. We are not doing any of the recommended flashcards or anything that they do have for CLE. We decided not to do the reading because I really just want to bare bones with him when it comes to language arts. As long as he understands his grammar, and as long as he's getting really solid on his reading, has penmanship, stuff like that. And CLE does have penmanship. They learn cursive in 2nd grade, so he is already doing cursive and writing full sentences in cursive. So as long as he's there, I'm happy with it. And then when it comes to his reading, I had every intention, and I'm still toying with the idea of beginning to assign readers, because my 3rd grader struggled so much with learning to read. He has kind of built up a slight resentment toward reading. So what I have been working toward is cultivating a love of reading, and therefore I have been assigning reading times. He has to read every single day for 30 minutes, and he has to read a book that is on his grade level, but he can pick the book he wants from the library. And so he is working his way all through the Weird School series. It's funny, it's silly, and it keeps his attention, and it's interesting to him. My desire for him is to, by the end of the year, have at least an appreciation for reading and to enjoy it somewhat. He doesn't have to love it. I just want him to enjoy it, even slightly. And so depending on how we are doing, in maybe a month or two, I might assign him a reader to do where he's going to read a couple of pages each day out of an assigned reader that's a little bit more enriching. But for right now, I'm completely fine with just get in a book, just read. And that's what we're doing. So that's where he's at. So for him, we do not do the spelling portion of CLE. We were doing it. Spelling is also a challenge. So he is my math kid. Math just comes easy to him. Not so much with reading. So spelling is also a struggle. So what we are trying, I decided to cut that out. I started him this year. I bought this grade 2 spelling skills last year, halfway through last year, and it was not working. He still had quite a bit. I tested him into it, and he was in week 12 when we started it. We got all the way through week 19, but he was still struggling, and so I had started to branch out. My original plan was to finish this book and then branch, but I saw something in a group that people were talking about, and then I found out there was a free trial, and so I wanted to try it. And so originally I was looking at IEW's Phonetic Zoo, which I will still consider if he is still struggling by the end of the school year. But I saw something about sequential spelling. And now that is a book, but sequential spelling also has an online subscription, a yearly subscription, and it's $20 a year, and it had a 5-day free trial. So I got the 5-day free trial. I had him try it out. He really enjoyed it. I have heard that for kids that are just really struggling with spelling, sequential spelling can be a game changer. I figured $20, and we will see, you know, if by the end of the school year his spelling is improved. If his spelling is still a struggle, I have every intention of getting IEW's Phonetic Zoo, because I have heard really great things about that from several people here on YouTube. And so I am hoping that that will get him to that point. So I try to have each year kind of some goals that I want for each of my kids, specifically if they are struggling in an area. Just making sure that they're getting to a certain level that I really want to focus on. And if other things have to fall by the wayside in order to get that level back up, I'm okay with that. So that was kind of how we approached reading last year with my 3rd grader. And now that he's good on reading, I'm really wanting to work on his spelling and just building the love of reading. So we are not focusing on writing very much. He's working on penmanship, but I don't really care for writing. We are doing verbal narrations in our group subjects, and so he's getting plenty of that and practice with orating and the things that getting his ideas verbalized. He is practicing that right now, but I am not going to put the pressure on him because he's struggling so much in spelling on trying to do any writing this school year. So he is really focusing on, he's doing grammar and stuff with his language arts. We are not doing the creative writing that comes inside this, because I just want him to focus on doing spelling and lots of reading practice and just a ton of reading. So that's where he's at. That is pretty much all I have for him. This has gotten chattier than I expected with having as little as we had. So if you are interested in what my 1st grader is doing, I already have that video linked. I will have my high schooler coming up next, and then I think I will have my pre-K, K4 daughter at the very, very end as my little caboose. With all that being said, that's all I got. So I'll see you next time. Bye.